Welcome to tonight's Team Resurrection call. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Christina Pierce. I am 2 levels down from Nikki. And she just asked me to host tonight's call and kind of talk about what's been going on in my business and with my life. Because with all of these, I think that half of the Beachbody Network is about to have a baby or just did. So I want to talk a little bit about, how you can turn your business around in a short amount of time. So I always start my team calls just telling my team this, and I'll tell you, congratulations for being on the call. It means that you're invested in your business and that you're willing to put the time in to grow. So that's a really big deal. So congratulations on that. Before I get into anything that I have ready, 2 things Nikki wanted me to go over. One, the June promotions this month are the 21-day fix and the 21-day fix extreme challenge packs are $140 instead of $160. And the kickstarts for both of those programs, so those including the 3-day refresh, are $180 this month instead of $205. So those are really great programs to boost your Success Club because they're short. People get real results. I know that some coaches, like I've watched videos from Chelsea Pearson, and she actually doesn't let anybody start with a program other than the 21-day fix. It's kind of the universal program, and it teaches you so much. So those are great deals to help you with Success Club this month. And then the other thing is Summit. If you can get to Summit, it will change your business. So what I will say to you is a little bit of tough love that if you aren't having a child, having major surgery, get to Summit. I mean, it will change your business. I am anti-debt, but I will say that you do have to invest in your business at certain times in your life, and Summit is one of them. I know that there's a couple people on this call that made the decision to go to Summit last year at the very last minute and are incredibly grateful that they did and are sitting here today matching or exceeding their full-time income that they had or still have. So it definitely is a momentum pickup. And I know that in the Bombshell Dynasty Diamonds page, Ashley Reyes did a call for people to show their income growth after Summit, and a lot of people in that next month go up like 25, 50%, 100%. People's incomes double. And with Size coming out, everybody loves to dance. Do everything in your power to get to Summit if you can. So, and that's July 16th through the 19th in Nashville. It actually starts the night of the 16th, and the farewell party's the night of the 18th. So with that being said, for those of you guys that don't know me, so I just had a little baby 7.5 months ago named Liam in October. I started coaching in July of 2013 and got pregnant in January of 2014. So I grew my business fast at the beginning. I hit Diamond in like 4 months, almost exactly from my sign-up date, and actually started as a discount coach. So I signed a lot of discount coaches, grew my business quick, and then I had Liam. And the first 2 months of my pregnancy, I found out I was pregnant January 28th. I remember it very well. It was a Tuesday night, and I didn't feel so bad at the beginning because I found out 36 hours after Liam was formed or something ridiculous. I took a really early pregnancy test. So I felt great at the beginning. We had a great Team Cup month. My business was growing. And then March hit and I pretty much slept through it. So at the very beginning of last year of my pregnancy, like 6 months into this business, I was working nights, newly pregnant, first trimester. Anybody that's been pregnant knows that your first trimester is kind of like you're a zombie a little bit. You're sick, you're tired, you don't feel good. It's just your body's changing. You don't really know what's going on, but you don't look pregnant. So you don't have that quote unquote excuse, even though babies aren't an excuse, but people don't know. So it's hard. And I was working nights, which was really hard for me because it was brand new. I actually started working nights, the week before I found out I was pregnant or something like that. So it was kind of crazy. I was very tired, but I kept growing, kept hitting Success Club. And then we decided to move home. So in May, we moved to Pittsburgh. We moved in with my family. We were house hunting. We hadn't sold our house in Wisconsin. But we were trying to buy a house here, but waiting to sell our house there. And all along, since we had moved home to Pittsburgh, I was doing nothing but gaining weight, because I'm pretty sure that to be pregnant in this city means that you must eat Saris and Permanis and everything else good, and Vito's Pizza, everything, like all the good stuff. And I was like, you know what? This is my first pregnancy. I'm going to do great, and it's going to be fine. And it was fine until the third trimester hit, and then I exploded at exponential rates. But so I had all this weight gain. And then Liam was born in October. I was induced. I ended up having to have an emergency C-section. So nothing was going kind of like as planned. And then we hit the holiday season. So that's kind of my background. All during that time, I was hitting Success Club, and I'm going to put this in quotes, working. And so I was doing the bare minimum to hit Success Club, basically. My business wasn't growing. I wasn't growing a team. I was actually losing coaches at the time. I was kind of just stagnant. Again, refused not to hit Success Club. I made Success Club All-Star in last October, and that was great. And then I just kind of I was just there. I was just helping a few people, kind of inviting till I had to, and just enjoying my pregnancy. Am I mad at myself for this? No, I can't. You can't look back. But that's where I was. So at the beginning of this year, it was January. I had that New Year's spirit, and I thought, okay, I'm going to embrace this intentional growth. I'm going to have the New Year attitude, flip my plan, stop using my son as an excuse, and start using him as a reason. That was great, a good mentality to have for me. The problem was, and I didn't realize this till we were in Cancun, when I had this little self-realization, was that I wasn't growing as fast as I could from, those beginning few months, because I was so ashamed, embarrassed, nervous to share like my real true pregnancy weight gain. It's a really sensitive subject for people. I still don't tell people the exact number. To this day, I probably won't even say, who knows, if I grow a set on this call, I'll tell you. But I gained double the amount that they recommend, right? And I'm a coach, and I'm supposed to be helping other people. So my thought process all this time was, who would want me as their coach when I'm sitting here preaching about being healthy and then turning my Facebook off and eating donuts and then ice cream and then chips, right? So I was really down, and that was stifling my business in and of itself. However, even though that was happening, and even though I hadn't let that go yet, from January till we went to Cancun in April, I was still growing. I was doing things intentionally. I'm going to go over the things that I've tweaked and that I'm really forcing myself to do, and new mindsets that I've had in a little bit. But I was still growing at that point, still doing well. I have coaches on my team that are intentionally growing as well now, as opposed to people that I'm forcing to grow. They're wanting to grow, which is a big deal. From January, so my week leg volume in January, they have the leadership ladder in the online office. My week leg volume from January to last month, May, that just ended, has gone up 150%. So it's gone 2.5 times itself, basically, in just 5 months, which is when it starts small and you're like, oh, okay, well, right now it's at 500. So you're telling me I can get to, maybe 1,000 a month in a few months. That's a really big deal, because then in the next few months, it could go from 1,000 to 2,000, and then 2 to 4. And this is where that exponential growth of our business comes into play. It's kind of, you have to be patient, but doubling is a huge deal, especially in such a short amount of time. So back to Cancun, I have notes on my phone. I'm not just, so I had this momentum in Cancun, as all of our trips and destination things give us, right? And when I was there, I posted pretty candidly that I wasn't feeling myself. I wasn't feeling confident. I wasn't happy. That is when Jasa, Nikki, and I were sitting by the pool, and they brought up the ultimate reset. And I thought to myself, there's no way in all of heaven or hell that this person is doing the ultimate reset. I won't eat a vegetable. You have to force asparagus and broccoli down my throat, and sweet peppers and lettuce. That's my vegetable. That was my vegetable palette. Like when I tell my challengers I have the toddler of a palette, or the palette of a toddler, I'm not kidding. But for some, I have no idea how they did it. But Jason and Nikki are like, you could do this. I'm like, okay, we're going to do it. So my husband and I ordered the dual reset kit. And so we had Bill and Nikki doing it. And then Carly also joined us a few days later. So when I did the reset, I decided I was going to put myself out there and share what was going on, because it was going to be such a hard journey for me. And I called Nikki crying the night before, and I said, I'm going to fail. I'm going to have my entire network watch me fail. I can't do this. And she's like, yes, you can. Who cares if you cheat? Who cares if you mess up? Like, what do other people's opinions matter? So that's the attitude I took into it. After week 1, so you get like good results week 1 and week 3, and week 2 is kind of like meh. But I put my pre-reset pictures out there for the world to see, and they weren't pretty. And I'm sure a lot of you guys know, there's some people on this team who are naturally thin and work for fitness. And then there's some people on this team that are naturally heavy and just work for health. And we're all working for health, but you understand what I'm saying when I say that some of you guys might relate to this more than others, that I had this big belly that I was good at hiding. I can pretty much disguise what my body looks like by this point in my life. But to put it out there in shorts and a sports bra, what I looked like just a week before I took that picture, I was shaking. I was crying. I was embarrassed as all hell. And I'm sorry that I swear. Nikki usually doesn't, but I do. And I'll try to keep it to a minimum. But I was terrified. Like, holy cow, I'm showing people how bad I looked. And I was thinking to myself, somebody's going to comment something bad. Somebody's going to say something. And guess what? One person did. Just one. She tagged me in a comment, said that she doesn't want to see those topless before pictures. She used another word, because they're gross. She'd rather just see the after. And that's fine. That one person just pushed me to work harder the next week, along with I believe it was 287 people that took time to like the picture, and over 110 people that took time to comment. So when I saw those numbers, I thought to myself, I have something here. There's something I can change. There's something I can do. I have traction. What can I do so what do you do when you have this traction? So what I did was I shared a ton of recipes. My goal during the reset was not to sell the reset or get anybody on board. If they wanted to join and they approached me, great. But I wanted to be done before I invited people to do it. So I just kept sharing all through this time, made sure I published blog posts, made sure I published recipes. And then I posted my final results 3 weeks later. And I will say that my week 1 and week 3 results got almost equal. So it was kind of like the same people that saw at the beginning were waiting for the end. So since I finished the reset, in the past 3 weeks, if I look at the past 3 weeks of my income, it is double what it was the previous 3 weeks. Which, whenever you're pushing for income and that's your why, which is okay, and we all have goals, and a lot of mine are financial. No, I'm not selling Challenge Pack just to sell it. I'm selling it to help someone, but my why is financial. I want to bring my husband home, and you have to be secure enough to say that, or people are going to feel like you're being salesy. So yes, 100%. So how do you do that, right? So here I just kind of sat down tonight and was brainstorming, what was I doing? What can I do? What can I tell everyone else that I did? How can I make this concrete? So I came up with a list for you guys. I'm going to try to elaborate on each one. So the first one is the one that everybody rolls their eyes at, and it's the truth. And I'll say it till you turn purple. 3 vital behaviors, period, end of sentence, every single day. I didn't go a day these past 3 weeks, probably, except for sometimes on the weekends, every once in a while, without inviting somebody to join me. Honestly, the days that I really sit down to invite, I probably do 10. In my half effort days, I do 5. That can be forming. That can be inviting directly to a challenge group, I keep a list. I put a C or an F next to their name, and I note what we're talking about. So cold invite is or a challenge invite or whatever it is. And all of those cold invites, anybody that replied, I did reverse forming. I did recently change my invite to end with the sentence, would you be interested in hearing more? That sentence has gotten my reply feedback. It has boosted it a lot. Instead of saying, are you interested? Or would you like to join us? I just ask them if they're interested in hearing about it. And a lot of people will say that makes them comfortable to say no, but it also opens up the door to form a better relationship with them, as opposed to them just saying, no, I don't want your challenge group, or ignoring it. So 3 vital behaviors every day. The next thing was kind of looking in the mirror and looking at what my excuses were. So yes, in January, I had a 2-month-old. And when I finished the reset, I had a 6-month-old. And I stay home with him. So that can be a blessing and a curse in this business, because from the minute that I get up with him at 5:30 until the minute that he goes to bed at night at 7:30, aside from naps, which at the beginning of this year were scary. Now they're a little better, but that's your whole day. You don't have the time at a red light. You don't get to take a few minutes to sit after you're done going tinkle and reply to a message. You have to hurry up and get out of the bathroom. So it's not that full-time schedule. And I'm not even, I will take a quick side note to say, if you work full-time, you're probably like, really? But everybody has their own challenges, right? So that was a really big thing. And so for me, that was my excuse. I have a little baby. I don't have the time. I refuse, and to this day refuse, to let anything get in the way of my relationship with my husband and the very little time we have together. He's only home from 5 if we're lucky, some nights 6:30. And then Liam is asleep by 7:30 every night. So we have 1 to 2 hours as a family every day, weekday. So I refuse to sacrifice that. And then we usually eat dinner together after he goes to bed. So I was using all these things as excuses. And then finally, I just had to say, okay, what do we want more? Do we want to spend more time together now? Or do we want to make the time that we spend together count? So I cut every excuse out of the book, period. Bye. See you later. I don't care if your kid didn't nap. I don't care if you slept 4 hours last night. Do your personal development. Do your workout. Share a picture of it. No naps. Very rarely anymore will you find me on the couch. The excuses are gone. It's that consistency that's been starting to pay off for me. Tied to that is my work schedule. So right now, I'll tell you, my work schedule is nap time, which can be anywhere from about 2 to 4 hours a day, depending on the day for him, which is nice. But then that's also when I work out, shower, do my personal development, clean up if I have time, run the dishwasher, get dinner ready, and then also answering messages throughout the day. I don't sit down at my computer in my office until Liam goes to bed. And every single night from Sunday through Thursday, I'm in my office from about 8 to about 11:30 or midnight, period. That is a choice that I'm making, even though my kid gets up at 5:30, because I want to grow intentionally. So that's what's working for me. You can make that however you want to make it. So if you are an early bird and you don't have to be at work till 9, maybe something you could do, or a practice you could take away, is getting up an hour earlier and just sacrificing that sleep for now so that later you can sleep whenever the heck you want. At least that's my goal. So cutting the excuses, setting a work schedule, no TV at night. We're getting rid of cable. Bill watches documentaries on Netflix. I am a TV junkie, black hole. I will binge till I turn purple if you let me. We watch all 5 seasons of Breaking Bad, like the first 3 weeks of Liam's life. So we're hoping that he doesn't have PTSD, but but really we could. So TV is a big thing for me. That's a trigger for me. I sit down in front of the TV and it's 3 hours later. So cut out those things in your life, whether it's sitting on the back porch with a glass of wine and then all of a sudden it's 3 hours later, whatever it is that's sucking your time away, don't do it. Because what I've realized is, while we might feel like I'm done for the day while we're growing this business, there's always someone else to form a relationship with. So you need to decide how fast you want to grow. When I was pregnant, I didn't want to grow very fast. I wanted to enjoy my time. Right now, my focus is on growth. So that's why I'm making these sacrifices. I'm making them now so I don't have to later. That being said, you will not find me in my office on Saturday at all, on Friday night. You will not find me in my office most of the day Sunday, because that's my time with my family. And you will not find me here when Bill is home and Liam is awake, because that's our time together. That's our thing. So there has to be things that you are willing to sacrifice and things that you are not. I will not sacrifice that time with my family. I will not be a slave to my office just because Bill's home on Saturday, because that's the only day he's home. So my phone keeps locking, dang it. So no TV at night. Another thing that's helping me right now is reading personal development that's corresponding to my journey. A lot of times in this business, there's so many of us and we're all inspired by each other. So when somebody says like, oh, you should read Girl Boss, we're just like, oh, I'm going to go buy that and read it next. But is that what you need right now? If you're having trouble getting the picture in your head of what this business could be or where you want to go or what your dreams are, maybe you need something like Unlimited by Jillian Michaels. If you're having trouble with leadership, maybe you need a John Maxwell leadership book or whatever it is. So read your personal development that corresponds with your struggles. Have the discussion with the important people in your life of what you're doing and why you're doing it. So I had to sit down with my husband and say, listen, Sunday night through Thursday night, I'm not going to do our routine with you anymore. We're not going to sit down and eat dinner and watch a TV show or two and then go up at 10. You can do whatever you need to do. But I know that you're stressed. The financial burden that he has is very large. And so I had to say to him, this is the sacrifice I want to make for us now so that later you don't have that. And we had to like kind of come to terms with it. And he said, I said, well, you can put Liam to bed. And I'm with him all day. He said, no, that's special when it's the three of us. And we had to do give and take. So whoever is in your life, whether it's your friends and you have to say, hey, I'm not coming to Thursday night bowling anymore. Or if it's your husband or if it's your partner or whomever, have that discussion with them so that they can support you. In terms of team growth, this is a big deal for everybody because we're all like, gosh, I won this, right? How many people have said, I wish that they would want it as bad as I want it for them? I'm pretty sure every single person on this call has said that. One thing I've done this year, and I've been really good at, I think, is finding out what my personally sponsored coaches' goals are, as well as anybody on my team that wants my help. I want to know what their goals are so that I can push them the way that they need to be pushed. So if they start as a hobby coach, I'm really not going to jump down their throat about Success Club. I'll post about it in my team page, but I'm certainly not going to reach out in a one-on-one message and say, hey, you're at 4. How many more invites are you going to do? Let's reverse engineer it. If they're a hobby coach, they're going to run for the freaking hills. They're thinking, I sold 2 challenge packs. I got my Shakeology paid for. Please leave me alone. So knowing what their goals are is going to help you because they're going to be more willing to come to you. I know that in the Team Resurrections Diamond page, this came up the other day, and a piece of advice was given by Natalie that the more you just care about people's lives and are involved in discussing with them and just chatting about them, the more they want to grow, because that's why they came to you in the first place. They like attracts like. They're there for the relationship and the business. So if you can keep that relationship going, they're going to watch your momentum and try to mirror it anyway. So know your team's goals. All of us, I just said this to Bill tonight too. We went to dinner and I said, I'm already at Success Club, whatever. I'm at Success Club 8 and I'm going to have to give everything to you after I hit 10. And that kind of sucks because I kind of want my income to reflect all that. Like I want that pride to say, oh, my business center made this much this month. And he was like, but it's all coming to the same bank account. It's the same thing with rank. You can, unless you're close to maxing out the diamond team volume bonus cycle, which is $2,000, rank means nothing except a freaking name and maybe a quick cameo on stage at Summit with a lot of other people. Is it a huge accomplishment that deserves to be recognized? Abso-freaking-lutely. But if your goals are financial and your goals are to grow a team, volume means 10 times more than rank. 10 times. So for me, when I started my year, on my whiteboard right here, I had 6-star diamond elite. I'll tell you that right now I have 2-star diamond premier because I have 2 coaches personally sponsored that want diamond right now. So, and I know how fast they're growing. If I sign someone else that is running with the business, maybe I'll change it. But for right now, that's all I really care about. I'm not close to maxing out my diamond bonus cycle. So why would I focus on pushing someone to diamond when they're not ready or want it, and then inevitably have them grow a house of cards and fall out? Because I've done that. I've been that person. I built a house of cards, and I fell in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out all of 2014. So knowing their goals. I kind of went out of, I just was thinking as I was typing. So I want to switch back to Facebook, right? So growing your customer and coach base, constantly sharing the opportunity. I had somebody that I look up to go to my page and I said, where can I grow? And she said, you've shared the coach opportunity once in the past week. It's not enough. So constantly sharing the opportunity in small ways. It doesn't have to be, I'm a coach because I made this week. But saying things like, I'm thinking of great things that people on this call have done. So Natalie paying for her driveway or being able to pay for her whole plumbing issue in cash. That makes people think twice. Kristen Koltik posted a really good thing about how she went, and Jason did this too, about what you were paying for each month with your Beachbody earnings. Great post that I particularly remember. Small things like that. Jen does it a lot about like a tank of gas, of groceries. I remember that things like that make a big difference for people, because when you have more month at the end of your money, paying for groceries is on the front of your mind, right? I mean, I've been there. I'm sure some people on this call have been there, where you're thinking on the 25th of the month, like, crap, we don't get paid for X number of days. We better tighten up and eat that pasta. So sharing those kind of things have helped me attract a lot of discount coaches and new coaches just that are thinking about it for the hobby. Riding natural waves of the business. So what I mean by that is we have a few of them. One is the Success Club trip. That was a wave for me. Summit is a gigantic wave. I already talked about that when we started this call. It will grow your income. I'm not going to tell you it's going to double it for sure, but it will grow your income, your team. People are going to want to be a part of that because it's natural for people to want to be a part of something good and fun and supportive. Other natural waves are like new program releases. So size is going to be a big wave on top of Summit. Another one is Super Saturdays, because you're together. Team functions, team events, all these things, you got to ride them. You have to boost them before you go, and you have to post about them while you're there. And then you have to post about why they were good for you afterwards. And that's what I do with Cancun. And that natural wave has brought me through and doing the reset. So you're going to have, waves in your personal journey too. As far as Facebook goes, and I apologize that I feel like I'm all over the place, but when Nick asked me to do this morning, I was just kind of like, okay, what am I doing now? What are the things I can tell them? So I tried to make this concrete, but it's not flowing very well. So I apologize. But use what you have to draw traction to your page. I joke with my friends all the time that I exploit my child for likes. but I do. Because because he's cute and people like babies. People like pregnancy, people like kids, people like dogs. They love food. Food gets me more traction than my child. Sharing recipes. There's a coach on the call that one of the very first posts she ever made, I still remember it, and it was Alicia, and she posted celery with peanut butter and raisins, which I've seen a million times with the way she posted the picture. I'll always remember that, and it got her like all these likes and as a brand new coach because it was food and it was an easy idea for kids. Sharing that kind of stuff is going to drive traction. So whatever it is, who's your niche market, you know? I know mine's moms now, so mine is kids, but if you are, you know, if you're a runner, running things are going to draw people to your page. If you're a doggy mommy, doggies, they're going to draw things to your page. So whatever it is, use what you have. Always ask for opinions. I cannot say that I'm above already buying something and then asking for the best brand, even though I already have it in my hand. Been there, done that. Not often, but I've done it. But opinions, people love it. And so that's all I have as far as Facebook, aside from one other thing. And this is not meant to offend. This is not meant to get people wondering things. But, okay, so blinders. Everyone knows, like, horses that race wear blinders. And that's kind of how I'm thinking of myself right now, right? I want to look and focus on me, my journey, my team. I have to physically remove people from my newsfeed that distract me. That might be coaches. That might be friends or enemies or whatever it is. So I've used the unfollow button more in the past 2 months than I've ever used it before. This way you're still friends with this person. You can still share their things, go to their page. It's not a diss. But if somebody is distracting you, and I'm going to get real here. We're in a business of women. So there might be a coach on your page that she could be on this team. She could be on a team that is not even like our cousin team. But you're like, God, how does she do it? She drives me nuts. I think every single person, if you look deep down, has thought that about something on your newsfeed, a coach, a friend. Just click unfollow. Keep your blinders on. If it's going to distract you from getting where you need to go, you're not hurting them. They probably will never know. I hope that none of you are offended or anything like that. But it's just kind of like, when there's all coaches in your newsfeed, number one, you're missing out on building relationships with people. And number two, if you're getting distracted by being envious, by copying, by anything like that, if you find yourself being unoriginal, just unfollow them. Get them off your feed. It has changed my Facebook newsfeed completely. I see things from people that I forgot I was friends with because I'm not following so many coaches, and that's expanding my network. I have my coaches that I love to go to their pages and see what they've posted and get ideas. So I just type their name in. That's it. That's all. So I hope that didn't offend anybody. I'm just trying to be as honest as I can. So that's what I have for you for Facebook. In terms of goal setting, I was talking to Morgan about this the other day about over-goaling and how I get in my own head. I'm a Ruby or a Red personality, so I like to know, at the beginning of this year, sat down and calculated out what I would need to make $1,000, $2,000, and $3,000 a week in Team Cycle bonuses. Let me tell you that it's pretty astronomical compared to where I am right now. So I had to put that away, but I like to know that. But then I have to go, okay, that's good to know. Where am I now? What can I do this next month? I am great with challengers and onboarding them, getting them results. Signing coaches for me, business working coaches, is something that's new that I'm not as good at as I want to be. So for me to say I'm going to sign 10 business working coaches this month is a load of bull. I'm not, or 20 or 30 or whatever astronomical goals that I've thought in my mind before. What I've done is step back and say, okay, I want to grow by, and I'm on a floating leg. What that means is that my coach originally quit. So I don't have a strong leg from above. So I have direct control and my team of how big our downline is. So I set a big downline goal, which is something that a lot of people can't do because other people are adding from above you. So I say, I want to grow my downline by 10 coaches this month. And as the leader, I'm going to bring on 5. That can be discount, regular, whatever. That's attainable for me. Being at Success Club 40 or signing 20 coaches in a month is not something I've ever done. So I'm not telling you not to dream big, but I'm also telling you that if you're going to get discouraged by overgoaling, don't do it. Because that's how I am. I look at that and I'm like, oh, well, I'm never going to hit that. Might as well go watch Scandal again. So overgoaling, set realistic goals. That will help. If you're like me and that's how your brain works, and you get discouraged when you're not hitting them, that will help you. Because we get in our own heads, we're thinking, gosh, I was supposed to be 5-star by now. I said last year I wanted to be 5-star by now, and here I am still a diamond. And dang it, is this working? Should I keep doing this? What am I doing? And then you get discouraged, and then that comes off in your posts, that comes off in your life, comes off in your relationships. So be honest with yourself when you're setting your goals. Setting income goals and being comfortable with that. I have an income goal on my goal board every month. It's for our combined income. And at first when I started doing that, it made me feel like real skeevy because I'm like, man, I'm not in this for sales. I don't want people to think I'm salesy. I'm not going to post that I'm going to erase that and then repost my whiteboard later, write it back up after I post it with the team page. But you know what? The truth is, that's my goal. My goal is to retire my husband, and I'm not going to do that with flowers or freaking 4-leaf clovers. I'm going to do that with money. So I got to make money. So it's okay to have an income goal. So write it down. Know what it is. Write it down. Whatever you want to make it $100 higher. If you're already making $1,000, make it $200 higher. Whatever it is, push yourself every month. Something I started doing is whatever I miss it by, I take that number. So say my goal was $500 for the month and I missed it by $44. I would add that 44 to next month's goal. So I would want to make it up. So that's something that I've been trying to do. And am I hitting it every month? No, I'm not. But that doesn't matter because it's growing. Goals and affirmations are visible at all times. I have one whiteboard with my goals. It's split 50-50. I have a goals list and an in-play list, which I'll tell you what that is in a minute. And then I have my yearly goals and my positive affirmations on another one, which at first, whenever people told me about positive affirmations, I was like, okay, I'll hang my dream catcher too. But they really do work. When I read them before I invite, I honestly do feel better. I do feel like I'm a good leader, and then I'm organized, I'm reading them, and I'm disciplined, and I feel like people are going to want to be on my team, and then I'm reliable and consistent and successful, and I'm earning enough to pay down debt, and I'm changing people's lives. I read those every single time when I sit down at the computer. They're in my face. And that honestly does help, even though I really didn't think it would. It changes it. So make them visible for you. What am I missing here? Setting income goals, blinders on. Oh, the in-play list at all times. So something at the beginning of the call, I told you guys sometimes I would do 5 and sometimes I would do 10 invites. When I don't have 10 maybes, I do more. So I have 10 people's names up here with the program they're interested in that have not yet committed, but I've had a full conversation with them. They might know the price or have the link. They might not. I know they're interested. I know what their goals are. Having those 10 people to go to in a pinch has changed things for me because they're starting to fall through one at a time. So that's kind of where I keep that's how I goal my invites, kind of, is by knowing I have at least 10 maybes on my table. Because for me, whenever I sucked something at inviting in February, even though I hit Success Club, March was so hard. I hit Success Club like the 30th or the 31st, the last day. So not having that pipeline affects later more than it's going to affect right now. So setting yourself up for success later. And the final thing I just wrote down, head down, no looking up. Have I doubled my week leg volume? Yes. Have I doubled my income in 3 short weeks? Yeah. But I'm nowhere near where I want to be. So I'm not going to look up and celebrate yet. I'm thrilled. I'm proud. I celebrate with my husband and my close friends. But other than that, I'm good. I'm not where I want to be yet. I'm not to a place that we're out of credit card debt. So I'm just keeping my head down, focusing on my team, on me, what I can do, and helping the people in my life, other coaches on other teams, coaches on our team, challengers, other people's challengers, doing this budget group. So I guess the moral of my story with catapulting my business is that I kind of just had to put aside the excuses, do the things I didn't want to do, and be totally honest with my followers and with myself. Putting myself out there the way I did with the reset physically made me realize how important being a product of the product is. Before I was like, yeah, we drink, I do this, and I had results before, but I never had results that astounding. And if you aren't ever going to, that's okay. If you're in a better physical shape, those results could come from your cholesterol, your hypertension, your mom, if she lost a lot of weight, like whatever it is, you don't have to have this 17-pound weight loss in 3 weeks to change your business, but you have to decide what you want and how fast you want it. So I guess the last thing I could say is do this for you. Don't get off this call and say, oh, well, she did this, so I'm going to do this, this, and that. Take whatever I said that worked for me that's going to work for you in your life. Don't stay up till midnight and get up at 5 a.m. if you don't have to, because that's just dumb. But if you do have to, then do it. Figure it out. Set your bottom line. Set your 20-mile marker, your minimum, how far you want to go each day, and do it. Just do it. Stop. Cut the crap. Turn off the TV. Get a beer and go sit down at your computer. Or if you can't because you're pregnant, I'll have one for you. So I know that was a little scattered, but I just kind of wanted to pull everything out of my brain that I did differently, or because sometimes, when you grow in this business, you're like, well, I've been doing everything the same, but really I've been so much more intentional. I rearranged my office. I redid my goals. I actually have my debt list also right in front of my face with the credit card balance and the student loan balance and the mortgage balance right here, which is terrifying. But it's motivating. So with that, I just thank you guys for getting on, and I want to open it up if anybody has any questions about anything I said or any scatterbrained thing that I missed. You can do the little chat thingy or unmute yourself. I muted everybody.
When you said your list of 10, Christina, so you mean like those people that you talked to before that were like on the fencers, but you go back to every month to kind of be your...
I go back to them when I'm in a pinch, kind of. So I'm always trying to add to it, but I need to have at least 10 maybes for myself at all times. And more so because then I know I'm talking to enough people. And then, like, if that's the end of the month and I didn't hit Success Club yet, I can go back and say, hey, Sherry, I know we've been trying to make it work for literally 7 months and we haven't connected or made it the right time. But I'm doing a giveaway and whatever I can do to try to sway her in a pinch. I have that in an emergency, but I also know I'm talking to enough people. And sometimes my people fall off of there. Like last night I had to erase somebody because she said, never mind, sorry, too much. I'm working too much. So that's yes and no, Morgan. If they were like a maybe next week, I put that on there and say like Friday and put the date. But if they're like a maybe, well, let me talk to my husband, and then they stop talking to you, at least I just leave their name there because we were in talks. They know the info, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool. Cool. All right, well, we're done early, and it's Thursday, which means tomorrow's Friday for all you busy bees. So you're really close to the weekend. If anybody have any other questions or anything I said was confusing or weird, just send me a message. And I recorded this so that my scatterbrain self can go back and watch it and shake my head. And I'll post it on YouTube for you guys. I'll just get Nick, or I'll send it to Nick to post on YouTube. But if you have any other questions, feel free to message me. And thank you for being on, and thank you for being patient with my mom brain. And I hope sincerely that helps, and that you find maybe something that you were giving yourself an excuse for that you can cut out and really change your business. So have a great night, and thank you guys so much.